So this is a story that the Rebbe told in different, at least twice over the years by the Fabrengen. Sometimes different versions, but the same principle. So the Frierdiker Rebbe related that the Gaon of Chaim Brisker told him a story at the Petersburg Rabbinical Council about his father, Rabbi YASHE, the founder of the whole Brisk dynasty. So YASHE, they were together in the conference there that the government had called. And so he tells the following thing. Jewish prisoners were facing a court case. Story about him in Brisk. A wealthy contractor in Brisk who was active in the government and who was involved in getting them released. He came to me, he says. So I told him to wait. And when I'll read it it's confusing. So this is now the Zalman telling the story. So Rabbi YASHE told him to wait. When the Rav came in afterwards to where the contractor was sitting, so the contractor says to him, Rebbe, I want to ask you a question. He had a shir there, a kviyas. You're learning with Berel the Hump and with the KLOTZ. Who were they? They were the two greatest scholars in Brisk, the greatest Talmidei Chachamim. This Berel studied with such hasmada, such diligence, bent over his books, they became humpbacked. He was called Berel the Hump, or the hunchback. And the other one studied so endlessly that he wore out a hole in the wooden block that he sat on. A klotz is a piece of wood. So you're learning with them. And what do you learn with them? Laws that are irrelevant today. And like he was kind of miffed that he's here on an important matter, very important. Jewish prisoners facing a court case. And he needed his advice or whatever, his contacts. And he's having a share with Berel the Hump and with the KLOTZ, and then doesn't say his first name. So Rabbi YASHE said to him, and the figure told himself by Fabrengen, when I live with Berel the Hump and with the KLOTZ, then some of the Balabatim will learn Gemara in one base medrash, and others will learn Mishnayos in another base medrash, and those go every day to the base medrash, and they go every day. Others go only on Shabbos and Yom Tov, and others only Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur. And the pharmacist's son, the chemist's son, fasts and comes to Shul on Yom Kippur. That's what's going on right now. That's Brisk. He just described the whole hierarchy of religiosity. If I don't learn with them, then no one in Shul will study the page of Gemara, and then the one the Mishnayos doesn't learn the Mishnayos, and so it goes. And the pharmacist's son would fast, but he wouldn't come to Shul. And the Rebbe told the story. He told it with a different kind of version. I have it here. I think I took it. I don't know, is this it? And the end was that someone ends up, it's similar story. Here it is. And here he calls him YASHE the KLOTZ. So he describes here, it's a similar story, so I'll tell it to you. He learned 18 hours a day. And because of his big avodah and the great poverty in those days, he didn't have a chair. He sat on a piece of wood. And since he shockled, when he learned, like the Minig Yisrael, so over time, there was engraved, and that tells the story, in the block of wood, a form of like of a seat. And that's how it was called, Yosef Bul Eitz. They asked him, it's already 30 or 40 years, you're learning 18 hours a day. You can't allow yourself to a little bit to scale down an hour, half an hour, and learn 17 hours or 17 and a half hours. So he said that if he will interrupt his learning, the similar idea, then a yid will bite in the merendel, will change the Achmantan's expression, means God forbid, to convert. They asked him to explain what does it mean. So he said, he learns 18 hours a day. So the one who learns less than him a little bit, learns less and so on, Each one's looking at the one above them. And according to the one above him, we define our own level. And then it's the Jew at the bottom of these levels, who's just standing holding on to his Yiddishkeit. If he compromises there, so the chain effect is that Rahman Litzlan, he Ushmadzach. Rebbe concluded, if this is true in the negative, how much true is true in the positive? That when a Yid adds in learning, he's parallel and aliyah, yichol kuchibrichol shchinta, and all of the dargas. That's what we're learning. All of the levels here, the dargas above him, the dargas below him, because all Yidden are one koima achas, one unit, and we're all one. So if one Yid adds, so it's a teva not for himself, but a teva for all Yidden on all of the levels. It includes there for a business person has to know the tremendous importance and the hechrech, the necessity in keeping a shiurim, because this is the gear not just for him but all Bnei Yisrael. All right, friends, have a wonderful day. Shkoyach. Hashem tomorrow.